Hello, Dr. Joe here. Now, a popular belief is that vitamin C does cure common cold. Is this true? We are going to be exploring that in this very video. Now, in respect of that very popular belief, Mr. Wallace does feel a cold coming on and he takes 1 gram of vitamin C supplement, expecting the vitamin C supplement to bring his expected cold to a complete halt. What happened next? Let's explore that.
Okay, so we're going to look at what happened next through the prism of this very study here that was published in the Cochran Library with the title Vitamin C for Preventing and Treating the Common Cold. Now, something you should know about publications of the Cochran Library is that it is trusted evidence. Anything coming out of the Cochran Library is trusted evidence, which means we can make informed decisions based on their findings. And of course, that translates to better health. So, why do the Cochrane guys make this very claim? Well, they do because of these features that I've outlined right here. The study authors in Cochrane studies usually have no axe to grind with anybody. Okay, they have no axe to grind with anyone, and they have no affiliations with anyone, and they have no affiliations with any industry, which means whatever they do there is totally unbiased. Whatever they come out with is totally unbiased, which also means that the evidence they provide us is as objective as it gets. So, really anything coming out of Cochrane Library is something that you really can trust. I should be serving you guys with more Cochrane juice. So let's zoom in on this very study here, this vitamin C study. What did the study authors do? How did they design this very study? Well, they included 29 trials, out of which there were 11,306 individuals. And the study participants in this very study were regular folks like you and I. And there were also some endurance athletes too. And all the study participants in the 29 trials were taking vitamin C daily. The other thing the study authors did was that they only included studies that were randomized control trials. And in all the 29 trials, too, they had to have placebo in them, which means that in all the 29 trials, they had to pitch a placebo against the vitamin C. So that was the study design. Let's look at their findings. Well, what they found was that the duration of cold was reduced by 8% in adults. Okay, that was the first finding. That's not very high, yeah, just only 8%. But the story was slightly different in children. They found that children taking 1 to 2 grams per day of vitamin C had their cold duration reduced by 18%. Okay, so better than the adult situation. But I have to say, 1 to 2 grams per day is quite a hefty dose for kids. The other finding was that the severity of cold was also reduced, which means that if you are taking vitamin C on a daily basis, you could still go about your business. If you had a cold because you were not severely impacted by the cold. So that was another positive finding. The other thing they found was that vitamin C supplementation wasn't effective in therapeutic trials. What that means is in individuals who were developing a cold and they were given vitamin C to abort the cold, well, the findings were inconsistent, and which meant it wasn't effective, as a form of therapy. So those were the findings, and that led the study authors to reach this very conclusion. They said, and I quote, the failure of vitamin C supplementation to reduce the incidence of colds in the general population indicates that routine vitamin C supplementation is not justified. Yet, vitamin C may be useful for people exposed to brief periods of severe physical exercise. So, something you should know is that exercise is a double edged sword. It could help prevent cold, but it could also make you more prone to developing cold, especially if the exercise is vigorous, because vigorous exercise does impact on your immune system. So that was the first conclusion they reached. They also said that, nevertheless, though, given the consistent effects of vitamin C on the duration and severity of colds in the regular supplementation studies, and the low cost and safety of vitamin C, so vitamin C is fairly cheap and is fairly safe within reason, it may be worthwhile for common cold patients to test on an individual basis whether therapeutic vitamin C is beneficial for them or not. So, what they're saying here is that vitamin C supplements are fairly cheap and they're fairly safe. You may want to still test it on yourself to see if you are going to be an outlier in the distribution curve of the general population for using vitamin C for prevention and treatment of colds.
So if we get back to Mr. Wallace, whom I mentioned at the beginning of the video, he took 1 gram of vitamin C supplement, hoping to get rid of the cold altogether. Can he expect a cure? It is very unlikely from what I've talked about earlier on in the presentation. The best Mr. Wallace can expect is an 8% reduction in the duration of the cold and maybe a reduction in the severity. But as far as getting rid or curing the cold altogether, that is unlikely to happen unless he's an outlier in the distribution curve for the use of vitamin C for the prevention and treatment of common cold. If he's an outlier, maybe, he could expect a cure. But the chances of that are very slim. So, do let me know if you've had any experience with using vitamin C and what your experience was like, using vitamin C for prevention of cold or curing it. So far, we have debunked the myth that vitamin C is a cure for common cold. Hopefully you got some value from this very video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please like the video and also please share this video with your friends, family and colleagues. If you got any questions, any comments regarding the content of this video presentation, go ahead, leave your comments or questions down below. I think that's about it for this video. Until next time, well, this is Dr. Joe signing out.